Hey, Anthony, welcome to the Good Movie Monday universe. This is where we just talk nerdy cinematic ramblings, and by the look of your t-shirt, I think you're going to fit right in.
Hello, thanks for having me. And it's not quite Monday, but it's always time to talk about good movies.
Absolutely, man. And that is what we do. And who could have thought that 25 years later, Angst to be getting a look at, a look in. It's incredible. Would you ever thought this one would
It's
have staying power?
I really didn't. I mean, so Angst came out in the year 2000, which
Yeah.
was, according to calendars, 25 years ago, which I find dubious, but they insist. And it was not a smash hit at the cinema, to put it delicately. It, I mean, I think the people that kind of engaged with the material saw it and hopefully liked it. Um, but then it came to video where it was this huge hit, and Australia's most stolen video, according to people in the know. Like this is 2000, so it's way before internet piracy became so ubiquitous, and it was stolen in every shop that we knew. We had all these people having to reorder copies and whatnot. And so we were kind of thinking, yeah, this will be like one of those kind of killer sleeper hits on DVD, which was the new format that was coming in. And then, and this is where things get a bit vague, companies collapsed, relationships ended, like professional relationships between various companies and distribution. So it essentially became lost media for about 25 years. And the whole time, anytime I was at a party, anytime I was kind of out anywhere in a professional capacity, at least one person would come up to me and say, hey, when we're going to see some kind of release of Angst. So I knew there was an appetite for it to a degree. I knew there were fans out there. I really didn't anticipate that we'd be getting the kind of, fancy new edition and new print and all that kind of stuff. I thought at best maybe they'll make a remaster from the old VHS print. So no, it's been really delightful to see. And it was all thanks to that screening at the Inner West Film Festival, put on by Dov Cornitz and that lot. He is friends with Jonathan Green, the producer, and he's like, let's get the 35mm print, let's screen it for a new audience, see if people like it. And they did. It was great. And not just like people in our age bracket, which is just what I assumed. I assumed everyone else would be like, what the fuck is this? These old, what is this? Dial-up modems and whatnot, like VHS tapes. So look, it's been really lovely. Like it's just such a nice surprise.
But you know what? I think it resonates with a newer, younger audience because the movies they're obsessing about in the film are the same movies we're obsessing about now, sort of, on the internet. Yeah. So definitely has that longevity.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. And I think that generation, like I guess Gen Z, I don't know if that's the one after that, Gen Alpha or whatever. But I think a lot of them was starved for the kind of tactile nature of seeking films that we had when we were young, like actually going to multiple video shops and clawing through the dusty shelves and discovering something. And if it had that Badge of Honor Banned in Queensland on it, like Day of the Dead did and a bunch of others, you were like, yeah, I'm renting the shit out of that one. And just that kind of feeling of searching for something, which you don't really get when you do it online. And especially when you don't get to talk to, part of the video shop experience for me, both as a customer and then for years when I worked in many of them, was the kind of back and forth with customers where I can still remember the first goth girl I ever met, who is still a friend to this day. I recommended Secret Separation.
I might just have to stop you for a second because your audio is cutting out.
Okay, right. How am I sounding now?
That sounds pretty good.
That sounds good.
Pretty good. All right. Well, let me know if it kicks out and I can just do that again. And
no, that's fine.
I think I was waffling about Milkman anyway, so I don't think it was.
Well, ironically, in the movie, like I noticed like the primitive dial-up internet, and it's like, well, we're not having much luck now. 25 years later.
The more things change and all that.
What was your background before this? Were you a film student? Were you a video store junkie, or were you both?
I wasn't a film student. I was a video store junkie who I remember I walked out of my kind of suit and tie job as a law clerk, which was basically a glorified gopher, and walked into the video shop that I used to go to and said, do you need anyone to work here? And by weird happenstance, they did. And then I worked in like I think between 6 or 8 video shops throughout Sydney. The main one being In Video in King's Cross, which had branches in Milson's Point and Balmain, and there was another one in Glebe, and there was a couple other ones scattered about. So I was for quite a few years the archetypal cliche of the screenwriter writing movies and working in video stores and whatnot.
And
not good ones.
While you were working in these video stores, did you actually write Dead Wrong about King's Cross being run by zombies?
I did write, it wasn't called Dead Wrong, but I did write, I can't even remember the name of it, a script that was zombies in King's Cross or zombies in Australia. It was all terrible though. Everything I wrote before Angst was just, here's me doing Evil Dead, or here's me doing Frank Kennelotta's Brain Damage. Like, just, the first things you write are just derivative shit. And then with Angst, I kind of like tried to write something a little more personal and a little more real and true to life, I guess, true to my actual experiences, which were very limited at that stage. I mean, it was punching cones, watching Lucio Fulci movies, and getting in bad relationships.
And shaving your nose.
I was about to say, the nose tickler, was that part of the real life experience?
That really happened, but the way that Dean uses it, I hadn't tried. I just thought it would be a funny joke. But yeah, that became a whole thing. So anyone I'd meet would be just like, you could see them like.
I was really wanting an extreme close up on his nose. I wanted to see that.
We didn't, because he doesn't actually have the fine patch of bristly hairs, and I don't think my nose would have been a good stunt nose for his, because I think we're quite different looking. So yeah, we just left that to the audience's imagination. I think you can see it better now that it's a much more high fidelity print, that he's got no nasal hairs. So I guess we could pull a George Lucas and add them in by CGI or something.
That would have been the chief casting requirement.
Yeah, absolutely. Like,
will you do nudity, and do you have yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's funny though, because Ben and I both came up through the video stores as well, and we can relate to this film so much, particularly the interaction with customers and things like that. But now I'm watching it 25 years later as a much older guy. I really wanted to slap the pretentiousness out of them. Like, it really shit me. Like, particularly when he meets like Abby Tucker's character for the first time. Like, was that like you at the time? Because it was certainly us. We were pretentious at the time.
It was absolutely me at the time. And when I wrote that, I thought Dean was the good guy in most of his interactions, and now I'm like, he's kind of an insufferable prick. Yeah. Like, you see even that now. Like, you got a JB Hi-Fi, and there's usually like the one that's just a little bit in love with themselves, and it's just kind of giving you shit, and it's just like, I was that, so I find it difficult to shit on, but it's definitely annoying. So no, Dean is absolutely insufferable. I actually think it works in the film's favor, but I was completely unaware of that level of it, because I was very much that at the time.
But then she cuts his legs right out from him when she calls him Video Boy, and then it's as a stroke of genius, the store is called Video Boy.
Yeah,
right. I was like, how to deflate your sales as a film nerd working in a video store. You're like, oh, just like Quentin Tarantino, and then with my Video Boy. Like, ugh.
I mean, because we were, I mean, as much as the video shop experience was wonderful, we could be snobs as well, and to a degree that doesn't need to happen. Like, I think snobbery is probably the most boring trait imaginable now, and so just disliking something because it's popular or it's mainstream, I think, because I was completely guilty of that. You realize what a crutch that is as you get older, and you're like, oh, okay, fuck that. But at the same time, there were wonderful customers I had great interactions with, as I'm sure you did as well. Like, I mean, there was a real back and forth you could have,
and ongoing,
and also sometimes,
like over the
exactly,
weeks,
that's right. You build relationships,
especially at
I did have that guy threaten to come in and punch my ass, though. That scene actually,
I've had it
that is verbatim to what happened. Because I wouldn't let him join. I don't know why we needed photo ID to join a video shop, but we did.
Totally. But I used to take savage glee in refusing to let people sign up because they didn't have the correct. Because it was always a crapshoot. You're like, I assume it's what movie executives go through now. Like, as long as they say no to a potential script, there's no pressure. The minute they say yes, all of a sudden, if the movie tanks, it's their ass. It's the same. You sign up a customer and they don't come back with the tapes, even though it's totally not your fault. It still is. You get the manager, the owner going, "Why'd you sign this guy up for?" You're like,
Well, it's funny
He's
though.
clearly dodgy.
The very final day of the store, because I co-owned the store, and the day we had to close, obviously emotions were very high. My very final customer did leap the counter and try and punch me, and so we had to close 4 hours early. We just said, "Fuck it, we're done."
Oh my god!
Yeah, that's right.
Didn't like your recommendations?
Well, I mean, clearly, like on the final day, you're trying to recoup as many overdue fees as possible. So
right.
By the way, you have $600 owing. Oh, Jesus. One thing I never noticed about the poster up until now is that he's holding a fucking sex toy on the cover. Like,
yeah. No, it was that was pretty edgy for the time. Although you will notice both it and every dildo featured in all the sex shop scenes, and there are many, are all not very anatomically correct.
Yeah.
Because at the time, to get an MA rating, is what we wanted, you couldn't show realistic looking dicks of any kind. Like, that was verboten. So we had to go into this disgusting, slimy adult store, which no longer exists, and literally just by hand replace. I mean, I didn't do it. I'm acting like I was there. It was like the costume department did it, and the people who were dressing the set. But we had to replace all of them, and they were like, I remember getting like incensed at the time because I wanted it to be as veiny as possible because that amused me. It was probably the right call not to, because again, it does feature on the poster. But that was a whole thing. It was kind of hilarious.
I mean, you can buy icy poles from the milk bar that look, pretty much more anatomically correct than that.
That is true. Icy poles. That is a beautiful callback. I want an icy pole. I just had like a sudden sense memory of just like,
I just like to think that they were all glow in the dark ones, so you could do like a was it Skin Deep-esque fight scene
or a Star Wars ripper.
Yeah.
Well, we had the lightsaber sound effect.
Yeah.
On the dildo as he turns it off, which in 1999/2000 that brought the house down. That was, Star Wars references were few and far between back then. Yeah. Now it's kind of like your mum's making them.
Hey, that might be why the kids love it now.
Yeah, maybe. There were though at the screening. There were 20-somethings who went up to Daniel Nettheim, the director, and they were like, "Yeah, this is great." And like Jonathan Green, the producer's kids, who were in their 20s, were like, "Oh yeah, it's great. Feels like us." And I was like, "It's not at all." Not at all you, but that's awesome that it does feel that way. I guess there are themes that are universal for being young.
Yeah, for sure. You just mentioned Daniel Nettheim. I just wondered, are you guys still in touch? He's gone on to do some incredible things, The Hunter and Broadchurch and whatnot. I imagine though
so much TV too.
The biggest thrill of his must have been Ash vs. Evil Dead, considering the Evil Dead references in this movie.
I speak to Daniel. Jonathan and Daniel and I are still quite close. I work with Jonathan regularly. In fact, the three of us are working on something new at the moment, but it's in the very early stages. But not thematically a million miles away from Angst, to be honest, except from a slightly more seasoned perspective. He actually called me or texted me or emailed me asking about Ash vs. Evil Dead, whether I thought it would be the thing to go to, and I'm like, just slamming, yes, you must do this immediately. No, he's like a genuinely great director, does fantastic work. And every time he works on a TV project, he elevates it slightly. I can't remember the name of what he's working on at the moment, but it's a kind of Lovecraftian cosmic horror type of thing. I think for Stan. I hope that's right.
Cool.
So I'm hugely looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So now, the most important question of the whole interview. Out of Glenn and I, which one is the puppiest puppy dog?
See, I feel like immediately I would say it's Ben.
Yep.
But I think Glenn has a hidden puppy dogness. He tries to hide. I feel like I recognize that.
I just rub off against your leg. That's all I do.
Glenn is my Snortles the piglet.
It's a close thing either way.
Oh my god,
for sure.
Was Angst always the title?
It used to be called Angst for the Memories, which was somehow worse. And so understand, I started writing this when I was 19. So, it was, this was not the work of someone who was self-conscious. When you write at 19, you're very much just everything I've ever thought is here. So we had to sort of cobble the script into shape over a few years. I don't think we should have called it Angst either in retrospect, because it didn't pass the taxi driver test back when you took taxis. So I remember what do you do writing a movie? What's the movie called? Angst. Blank stare, no recognition. And I'm like, I think this might be a problem. Even more of a problem now because of the recent release of the 1983 Austrian film Angst, which would be an interesting double bill, I think. Just play one after the other. I don't know what order you want to go in. So in retrospect, we should have probably called it Video Boy, but at the time, I think there was Mall Boy and maybe Wog Boy then. Like getting my timeline there. And I don't think we wanted to call it Something Boy because everything was Something Boy. But yeah, it's possibly not your not the best title to go for.
I do feel like there were a whole bunch of really short titled movies at that time, though. Like I feel like you're sort of hitting some kind of zeitgeist of sorts.
There was a certain zeitgeist for sure. But no, it was.
Go on.
I was just going to say that was generally the title was going to be something with angst.
Around that year too. You go, Ben. We're cutting each other off now.
You go. That's fine.
I was going to say in the year 2000, you also had Cut came out, which had Sam Lewis and Jessica Napier in it as well. And then you had Sample People come out, which had Kylie Minogue from Cut in it. Did these productions cross over at all?
I actually did some additional dialogue for Sample People for director Clinton Smith. Not heaps, but like I did a lot of script punch up then.
Enough to be credited,
particularly. Enough to be credited, yeah.
All the cool stuff. All the cool dialogue.
Yeah.
That was me.
That was me. Anything you didn't like, that was a bunch of other guys. I didn't have anything to do with Cut other than I went for that job too to write it, and I didn't get it. And I was, this was the kind of mindset I had. Like I was like 21 and I thought I'd get that gig, and I was bitterly disappointed when like a much more talented and seasoned writer and director got it. But no, I really wanted to be part of that because at that stage, like you gotta understand, in the late 90s and early 2000s, Australia was not making horror movies, aggressively not making horror movies. And I used to go to meetings all the time, usually with Jonathan, talking about future projects, trying to pitch horror stuff. And I was told in no uncertain terms, there will never be a big Australian horror film, in those words. And the other one, there will never be a mainstream zombie film. That was the producer at Fox told me that. There will never be a mainstream zombie film. And I remember my brain at the time just went, record this for later. It's going to become ironic one day, I swear. And of course, that has proven to be nonsense. Now zombies are so big, people are sick of them.
I'm going to get this printed.
Right.
To that guy's funeral.
Absolutely. But yeah, so like the genre space then in Australia was non-existent. So just every job was this kind of shining diamond to chase after. I love Australian horror now. It's so great. The Philippou brothers in particular. I mean, Talk to Me and Bring It Back is just such an amazing 1-2 punch. You get that frisson of pride because we're so good at movies generally in Australia, and of course we've had amazing genre films, your Mad Maxes, your Razorbacks, your Bad Boy Bubbies and whatnot. But just to see this kind of consistent output of just ass-kicking genre films, and Late Night with the Devil as well, like just. Yeah, love it.
Yeah. I feel like the Philippines have really raised the bar for themselves, but I have no doubt they'll just leap right over it with the next one.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I heard they were doing a documentary or something before they do another film, but that might just be...
So just circling back, so was it just pure coincidence that your two leads from Angst ended up being in Cut?
Yeah, so what you end up having, and you see it now in a lot of TV shows, actors tend to have a moment, and they have their sort of moment in the sun, and they tend to get cast in like 5 things. It's like if you watch a lot of TV regularly, like, hey, that's the guy from The Thing with The Thing. I think that's just what that was.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the same casting agents or it was just they seemed suitable for the role. But yeah, like right in a row, it was weird to have that kind of crossover there.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Sam and Jess were great in Cut. I didn't dislike Cut. When I finally saw it, I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. I would have done it differently.
I think that's how everybody reacted to that movie when it came out.
Yeah. So I definitely did not see it with an open heart because I was so mad not to get that job. I was like, oh, damn it. I wanted that so bad.
Before I sort of pivot to wrap things up with a different question outside of the Angst sort of conversation, do you have any like lasting memories on Angst that are like stories that are worth sharing? Just about, were you on set all the time with this one?
I wasn't on set all the time. I did live quite close to where they shot in the Cross. So when they did all the exteriors in the Cross, and also I played Toaster Junkie.
Yes.
Hell
yeah!
Back when I had
do you want to buy a toaster?
Cheekbones and all that kind of stuff.
Four
slices of bread at the same time.
And
crumpets.
I mean, that was an amazing shoot. So you can understand, we were in King's Cross 1999. This is a different King's Cross to it is. I know people got killed with cow punches and whatnot, but it was the most stabby, druggy, hoary place that you could walk down. You could not move 5 feet without being offered a root or heroin or a punch in the head. These were the three things you could get very easily in King's Cross.
Did you get a choice?
All three if you weren't careful. Sometimes you didn't. So we had to hire a person who was, let's call it what it is, a gangster, to basically walk ahead of us when we were walking down the street and telling people to leave us alone and it's cool. So people are, like, we've got the crew, they're holding like 35 millimeter cameras, like 35, like the film, old school film cameras, heavy as shit. I mean, it's why it looks so gorgeous, but like heavy, hard to maneuver cameras. And I've got like a fake latex cold sore and I'm all ratty looking and my hair's unwashed because they were like, don't wash for a couple of days before you do this. And I'm doing kind of shambling and say, hey mate, you want a toaster? I look like I absolutely belonged. like they were filming a documentary with junkies or some shit. And it was amazing. Like I think I did it in like 2 takes. Like, so, and I'm not an actor. So it was, that was great. But just the vibe of it was so kind of guerrilla. Despite like the talent like Daniel Nettheim and the cinematographer Tristan Milani, despite the talent behind the camera, it really felt like this kind of on the edge guerrilla kind of thing. It was late at night too. Like, I don't know what time, but like, crazy o'clock. And I never forget just the vibe of it in a King's Cross that just doesn't exist now. It really was just an extraordinary feeling. The other one that I remember, sorry to piggyback another one, but I was not aware they were dressing the exterior of the video shop where I worked as video boy the night that they did it. So I had gone to a goth club and I had come back pretty, I'd been in a goth club all night, and I staggered down the street, the alley really, that was where In Video was, and In Video had been changed to Video Boy with the Video Boy mascot up there and whatnot. And I had one of those kind of existential moments of like, did I have a stroke? Am I slipped into my own fucking imagination? Have I become so indulgent as to ascend my own fundament? And I'm sure they told me. I'm sure Dan and Jonathan said they were dressing it tonight, but I was not aware. So that, I mean, those are the ones that stuck out. But I mean, there's so many. It was a really extraordinary shoot, and an extraordinary time in kind of Sydney history, because everything changed so quickly after that. VHS became DVD, became fucking nothing, became no video shops in startling rapidity. And just the entire nature of the Cross changed within such a few short years. So yeah, I do remember this kind of weird place and time that we all inhabited with no idea that what we were doing, and the monorail too. We were like, oh, I always wanted to see in the monorail because I used to like taking dates in the monorail. It was just a fun little, you chat, you're moving around, there's change scenery. And all of that was gone within years of the film coming out. Like, it really is a look into kind of past Sydney, which is kind of fascinating.
I should also thank you for making home invasions sexy.
Absolutely. When you think about what like when you objectively think about what Dean and May do, it's super fucked up. Yes. Like, nothing is cool about what they do. What's even more hilarious is the real life inspiration for Heather, the ex-girlfriend, is a dear friend of mine still, for some reason. And I mean, we lost touch for like a long time and then sort of got back in contact significantly after the movie had come out. And so now, she was actually at the screening, and she's kind of looking over at me when like I start shitting on, or Dean starts shitting on Heather, saying worst girlfriend in the world ever. And she's like looking at me like, really, motherfucker? Really? Yeah, so why don't you just jizz on my fucking soft toys then?
But, yeah. She kind of, like, Abby Tucker's not wrong. Yeah, you deserve the reason she has them. It's totally justified. I actually, speaking of old friends and this film, a good friend of mine, Isabel Peppard. I noticed her name pop up
Hey,
on the
yeah.
credits, and I was like, "Oh my God, Izzy!"
Izzy and I go way back, and she actually did the goth makeup. I think she supervised the goth makeup or did it herself. The memories are a little vague there, but it's one of the two. She wanted we all wanted May to look like an actual goth looks like, not kind of not like more goth from movies and TV where you're just like no, like someone who could actually walk in and out of a goth club and whatnot. And she did. She did her up, and we went to a club and just to see if the vibe fit, and the vibe fit. So it was great. But she did an amazing work. She's an amazing artist. Like her short films and her sculpture work is just extraordinary. Every time she's got something new come out, I'm just front of the line. So yeah, she was amazing.
100%. Makeup is a really good segue here, because the question I wanted to sort of wrap things up on was you also wrote Red Ink, which is also called Inhuman Resources, and Tom Savini was a part of that at some point. And we've spoken to a few people, and we've heard really good Tom Savini stories and really terrible Tom Savini stories. What was your experience working with him?
Oh man, I've been a Tom Savini fan since I was a kid. The idea of this guy that can be like a special effects maker, but also an actor, a director, a stuntman, and just like a big muscle, strong dude, a sex machine, indeed. So one of my dear friends, who's actually about to come back to the country, Jody, married Tom Savini. I don't know if it was me talking about him endlessly that made it happen. I suspect not. So we sort of she said, come and meet Tom, at it was a convention, something in Darling Harbour, some kind of film thing. And I couldn't speak to him properly. I just sat there for a while, sweaty, and was. And eventually he managed to drag conversation out of me and whatnot. And then when Jonathan got him on for supervising makeup special effects with the MEG group, who are amazing Aussie artists, special effects guys, they did like The Matrix and Man Thing and just like amazing stuff. So he was working with them, supervising them on set. And it was extraordinary. What people don't get about Tom Savini is they think he's going to be this like murder horny dude who's like, yeah, I want to see the guts. Absolutely. He's like an old school Hollywood kind of guy. Like he likes romances and musicals and classic golden age Hollywood cinema and whatnot. And so if you're just gonna go up to him and say, have you seen Stabby Killer Bitch 19 in 3D, he probably hasn't seen it, and he's probably not that interested. But if you just want to talk about film and love and art and life, like he is absolutely the man to talk to about that. And so that was my experience of him. He's coming to Australia in December, I believe. So I'm going to see him then. And yeah, he's just, with his time, he is generous and just a gentle gentleman has been my experience. I don't know. Like I know a couple of people have had interactions they didn't love so much with him at conventions or whatever. But for me, you're always worried about meeting your heroes, and I met mine, and I realize I'm glazing him spectacularly here, but he really did become a friend, and a fantastic creative, and he gave so much to Red Ink as well. Like that was a low ass budget film, and he helped. There's a thing on YouTube I put up. It's got like 9 views. Where you actually see him direct the gore scene, where the director Daniel Krieger has his throat slit and spurts everywhere. So look for The Death of Guy Marr, Guymarr, and you just see the kind of passion and kind of just hands-on qualities that he brings to film. So yeah, I got a great deal of time for Tom. And people who have bad interactions with him, I'm sorry that sucks for you, but
we prefer the good stories, so that's another.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You've balanced the scales in that direction.
Yeah, and now I have to search out Stabby Killer Bitch 19 in 3D.
It sounds good, right? That's what I'm saying. I'm like, there's something there. There's something. I feel like that's kind of like the Terrifier films, right? Like I feel like those Kill Stabby Bitch. Like I'm not against them or anything like that, but I kind of feel that's the vibe of those flicks.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Although you have missed you missed the opportunity for like a legacy sequel or sidequel of Toaster Boy.
I know. Listen, I everything I write, I write like something afterwards. I write like a treatment for a potential sequel, and I did write one for Angst called Sweaty, Confused, and Slightly Aroused.
Amazing.
But obviously,
great.
But obviously, it did not manifest and all that kind of stuff.
Hey,
I
but
did have a thought for a while of it'd be interesting to have a legacy sequel where Dean doesn't become like a screenwriter and Ian does become like like a Jim Jeffries type comedian, and just have their kind of like weird kind of, you know, with each other, how they, you know, they're a bit, Dean's maybe a bit jaded and bitter about it, and maybe Ian's not so much enjoying that life.
I think Ben's living that sequel. He's the video boy at home. Look,
Yeah, right.
Have a look at him.
Yeah. And Jess is still refusing to get a job.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I didn't quite know where to take everyone else's things, but I just thought that'd be an interesting thing. Because everyone, I remember over the years, people were like, it'd be great to see him, you know, become like this big famous screenwriter. I'm like, I didn't want to do like a Dawson's Creek. I wanted to do like what if that shit didn't work at all? Like that would be an interesting story to me.
I guess the way you could do something is to write a film that in your mind is a sequel, give them the same names, and just don't announce that it's a sequel. Let people join the dots later. That'd be cool.
Kind of what I'm working on at the moment does have like spiritual sequel elements to it, but it's definitely not the same characters at all. But just kind of that vibe. The thing that struck me about watching Angst, because honestly, watching it now, it feels like it was written by some other dude. Mm-hmm. Like I barely recognize. There's a couple of lines where I'm like, yeah, I kicked ass there, but most of the time, it's like, what the fuck is this? And yeah, I was struck by how hard on its sleeve it was, in a way that I think at the time I would viciously and vehemently deny. Yeah. Like I was like, it's not a rom-com. Fuck off. It's edgy. It's not really, mate. It's not really. It's actually quite a sweet, heartfelt film that just happens to have, you know, Lucio Fulci, you know, references and dick jokes. So yeah, I was kind of pleased with that, because that was something that I'd maybe forgotten over the years.
Yeah.
I think maybe I was focused more on the comedy than I was on the heart, and so it's nice to see the heart remains an ascendant part of it.
Well, mate, that's the perfect place to leave things on. I think you've
sold
it.
Say, no,
you've sold
hang
it.
On, before you wrap it up, what are we watching tonight? Evil Dead, Suspiria, The Beyond, or Night of the Living Dead?
I mean, you can't go wrong with any of them. But I did recently rewatch, I should say, the brand new 4K of The Beyond, the very expensive Sell a Kidney version. And that is a film that it's just, what I love about Fulci is it's such a beautiful, gorgeous, like every frame a painting, that old, you know, chestnut, in service of a script that like no one went, Lucio, what the fuck is any of this? Like, why is this? Why are the spiders slow motion attacking him? And like, you know, like all this, why is the pool of acid? But it's just 90 something minutes of dream logic beauty. And I love it. I just think it's just a wonderful expression. So if you're going to pick one of those, I would say start with The Beyond, and then maybe have a few cones and skew into Evil Dead. You know, because there's never a bad time to watch The Evil Dead.
I think there's always room for some good eye trauma in an evening.
Love the ocular trauma, did Lucio? I tell you. Are you guys watching the Welcome to Derry?
Some of the best horror I've seen on screen in a long time.
So I don't know if you saw last night's, but I was watching that going, Lucio Fulci would have loved this, man. So there's a Fulci-esque sequence that I was like, we are truly in the golden age of genre television, my friends.
I was saying to Ben, because we've both started it. I think I'm one episode ahead of him, and it's just some of the most glorious and delicious horror I've seen committed to screen in a long time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I know people that quibble about the CGI, and it's ropey at times, but how many films do we love that have ropey practical effects?
Yeah.
Do you look now? I mean, The Beyond, the spiders, you know, like there's like 3 real spiders, and then there's like a puppet spider, It's not realistic looking, but it's fucking amazing.
It's the concept here that sells it, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So that's you just have to adopt that, because it's not there's not less art because there's CGI. It's just that is the technology that we're working with now.
I find it so amazing that the horror in that series is more full on than they would do in a film, because similar to Angst, they would worry about the rating and advertising and all that sort of, what can we trailer it in front of and all that sort of stuff. And then they go to TV, and now TV can be more full on,
which ironically any kid can turn on to and just watch.
Watch it whatever they want.
We actually found that sort of around Red Ink as well. Like, people aren't reactive to gore the way they used to be. And I think shows like Game of Thrones and, more importantly, The Walking Dead really shifted the needle in terms of what you can get away with. Whatever you think of the show, that featured like a staggering amount of beautifully realized Greg Nicotero gore. In a way, like if you had told like the Anthony who wrote Angst at that age, like, by the way, there's going to be like the most popular show in the world, or the second most popular show in the world, will be about zombies. It'll run for fucking ever, and Greg Nicotero will try to outdo himself with gore every week. You know, I would have lost my damn mind. It's such a different environment. And you know, for television, we are eating well, and we're eating well for genre at the cinema too. I mean, God, absolutely. It's been a great year. Weapons, come on.
Yeah, I know.
You guys like Weapons, right?
Yeah.
That came out this year. I feel like I've seen that film so many times already, but yeah, just this year, crazy.
Yeah, it is
greatest chase scene since Bullet.
Absolutely.
In Weapons. Fantastic.
Anthony, thanks so much for making some time to chat with little old us.
Thank you. Thanks for, sorry about the audio footage. I hope that you can cut around that.
It'll work for us. It'll work for us. Don't you worry. But yeah, no, your film takes us down a nostalgic path that was very well worth the trip. So thank you.
Oh, awesome, man. Thanks very much.
I don't know why I haven't been happy lately. I mean, I've got some good advice from some close friends.
You should try ugly chicks. They have lower standards.
A good relationship with my flatmate Jade.
Dean!
And my ex-girlfriend Heather still likes me heaps.
I never, ever want to see you again!
Plus, there's my job where the customers love me.
You think you're so original, stroking your goatee, exuding disdain. But you're just another smirking, wannabe clone.
So what's with all this angst?
Who's that?
Well, we don't actually know, but he bought a slab, so we let him in.
How do you guys tell each other about a nightclub?
Don't make me hurt you.
Oh, no, I kicked a dog.
Why?
Because he looked like he was going to start some shit. Mean little Pekingese bastard.
Good hug. Good hug.
Hi, I'm Ian.
Get fucked, mate.
$1,000. Tell me you wouldn't sell the cat for $1,000.
Babe, for $1,000, I'd take the cat out.